What's up, YouTube? Murphy Firearms Training here. This is Chris, and we have a wrap-up video for you. I tested three ammos: the Norma MHP monolithic hollow point, the Hornady critical defense 185 grain FTX, and the Federal Punch jacketed hollow point 230 grain. Okay, this is a 175, this is a 185, and this is a 230. I've got a link to all three descriptions in the video, and what we want to do now is take some measurements. So we're going to start with the Hornady critical defense. Standard pressure, not plus P. Here it is, unfired. It's got this cool nickel case. I really like the slick nickel cases. I don't know why. I'm a sucker for advertisers, I guess. Skived projectile, very much a round nose profile. I don't know if that helps with feeding or not, but no feeding issues with this. It's got that characteristic red polymer tip that's supposed to always initiate expansion. That's what it looks like. It's supposed to be 185 grain. Here is the fired projectile up close and personal with good lighting. And you can see the lead core. These lines go right out to where this jacket was skivved. It's kind of an interesting bullet if you've ever seen one. Very, very, very flat bullet. Not a lot of shank left on that bullet. Retained weight, 179.3 grains, so about 180 grains. And I did not find the red tip, so that may add a grain or two, but almost 100% weight retention, which we expect in most of our modern defensive hollow points. Let's get an expansion measurement here. And we're going to go lead pedal to lead pedal here. So we're going to go this way. So measurement number 1, 0.712. Measurement number 2 is 0.731. And measurement number 3 is 0.725. So we're looking at almost 3/4 of an inch here. And I like that a lot. So a lot of expansion from that hollow point. Second was the Federal Punch. This is a 230 grain projectile, supposed to be. Here is the unfired projectile. If you're familiar with Federal HSTs and you saw this on the shelf with no wrapper, you would think it was an HST. It looks a lot like one, but it is not. And you know, typical shellacked primer from Federal, brass cased. Nice round, nice looking round. No feeding issues. Here is the expanded projectile. Does not look as flat. Part of that is because it is a 230 grain projectile, so there's some more shank left. Tends to get you deeper penetration when that happens. But your petals have peeled back. Your lead core hasn't peeled back quite as much, but definitely expanded nicely. It's nice, smooth lead. And you know it's not an HST because it has a P on the back of it for punch. It is a different bullet for sure. Let's see our retained weight. Our retained weight is 231.3 grains. So somehow magically this bullet gained weight if we assume it started at 230. But anyway, close enough. Again, pretty much 100% weight retention. And we're going to measure lead pedal to lead pedal. And I am measuring 0.67, what does that say? 675. If I go to the next one, I'm measuring 0.666. And the last one, hope you're not superstitious there. And the last one, I'm measuring 0.679 with my Meditoyo calipers there. So again, good expansion, not quite as much as the critical defense, but this did penetrate deeper. And so, you know, if you're looking for deeper penetration, this may be an option for you. Very, very uniform expansion. These petals are quite thick. There's no tearing of the petals at all. And you can see 100% weight retention. Very cool hollow point. And last but not least was this Norma monolithic hollow point. It's a 175 grain round. And on the box, they give us a cool picture of what this thing looks like expanded. Okay. And it did say it claimed 1,053 feet per second. 1,053 feet per second. Now, here is the unfired projectile. It is a black case, and a silver projectile. It looks like someone took a round nose bullet and punched into it with a Phillips head screwdriver. It's a cool, I mean, I'll be honest with you, this is a very cool looking round. The silver with black, I mean, it is, you know, kind of reminds you like the old black Talons from when I was younger. You know, you look at that and it just looks cool to me. But here is our expanded projectile. It says N for Norma on the back. And you can see that those petals didn't quite, let me put it in my hand so it'll focus, didn't quite open up to that 90-degree mark and get full opening. They did open some out of the short-barreled gun, but they did not open fully. This is supposed to be a 175 grain, and as with all copper bullets, we would expect 100% weight retention. It's 175.2. Again, kind of magically gained weight, I guess you would say. And let's do our measurements here, tip to tip. And if we go tip to tip on this one, I'm getting 0.750, pretty much dead on, 3/4 of an inch. And over here, I am getting 0.762, it looks like. 0.762, it looks like. So these opened up, you know, even though it didn't open fully, like it shows on the picture, on the box here, it did open to 3/4 of an inch. So is that a failure or is that a success? Because a 45 that opens to 3/4 of an inch is a big hole. So I don't know. You be the judge. I will say, if I carried a 5-inch or 4.5-inch 45, I would definitely give this a try in a longer barrel and see if I got full expansion, because I think with full expansion, this thing would just be nasty. I mean nasty. And one other thing you can't see on the video, but every point, so this point here, and this point here, and especially these points down here, but these edges and these points are sharp. I mean, like, they catch my skin, and if I pressed, they would take skin off. I mean, they are sharp, like cheap knife sharpener sharp. You know, not a razor blade, but it definitely would cut a tomato. It's very sharp, lots of sharp edges on this thing. And it did perform well in the water jug test. It did a lot of damage. So I'm not sure what to think about that. I mean, that kind of the part of me says this is a failure because it didn't fully expand, but it did do a lot of damage. And I think if you shot a full-size gun, this thing would fully expand. And if it fully expanded, I think it would be nasty. I mean, it would really do a lot of damage. So anyway, kind of a fun one. We may end up doing a follow-up with this one and trying to do a full-size gun, like a 4.5, 5-inch barrel, and see how this does. But it's a cool-looking expanded projectile for sure. Did a lot of damage. And, I mean, even without fully expanding, it opened to 3/4 of an inch. So that's our follow-up to our 345s. As we expect with our modern defensive ammo, everything had 100% weight retention and had really good expansion. Pretty much everything was hitting close to that or above that 150% expansion threshold. So, guys, we appreciate the support. Please like, please subscribe. If you have questions about any of these ammos, send it to me. I'll try my best to answer them. And we hope it helps you make an informed decision on what you want to carry if you find these ammos in your store. And we do appreciate the support. Anything you can do to help us grow our channel, we really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.